Welcome to the Root of Power podcast, where I teach you how to step into your power, find alignment, and create a life that you love using holistic methods, interviews with industry leaders, and inspiring stories from people who know that true freedom is found within. I'm your host and health and wellness bestie, Amanda Chills, and I'm so proud of you for choosing to step into the root of your power. Welcome to this week's episode, guys. Buckle up because I'm about to hit you metaphorically in the face with some knowledge that I hope really changes something you have probably been taught that is keeping you from succeeding and being happy and healthy and thriving, which is the whole goal here. Before we get into that though, shameless plug, I want to let you guys know that I am taking on health coaching clients. So if you are interested in that, shoot me a message on Instagram at Amanda_Chills and just type in health coaching and we will discuss. All right, y'all, let's party. This episode is super powerful. Hello, podcast fam. We are going to talk about something that I love to talk about, actually. I talk about this all the time. I love reframing this idea. I love educating people about what is really going on and why they're not reaching their goals. Now, if you have a goal that you are not reaching, this is for you. This episode is for you. So pay attention. We are going to get into the nitty-gritty of why you're not losing weight, why you're not building muscle, why you're not completing that thing or starting that project or finishing that project or finding your people. Like, this is what's happening. So here is the secret sauce. And I'm going to give you the secret up front because I love you and I want you to succeed. The secret sauce is you're not lazy. You have no discipline. Let me repeat that. You're not lazy. You have no discipline. Lazy doesn't exist. You are not practiced enough in committing to an action regardless of how you feel. It's not that you're not motivated. It's not that you don't want it. It's not that you're just a lazy loaf of a human being. You have no discipline practice. Think about the things you do regardless of how you feel. Now, depending on the person, I would bet that this isn't very many things. For most of us, go to work, right? We're not all the time super jazzed about going to work. Even if we really like our jobs, there are days where you don't want to go, but what do? You get up and you go to work anyway. That is a discipline practice. If you have made a practice of working out, that is a discipline practice. You don't just work out whenever you feel like it. You block the time and you go no matter how you feel. You show up and you do the work. So that's a couple things, right? Obviously, if you have children or you have animals, you take care of them no matter how you feel because you're responsible for keeping them alive. That is a really good discipline practice. But what happens for most of us when we're adults, because we have the freedom to kind of schedule our time, to schedule our time as we want, we aren't as disciplined. I mean, think about what kids have to do. They have to go to school. They have to eat at a certain time. They have to eat a certain thing. They really don't have a lot of freedoms, but they have kind of a high degree of discipline, but it's external. Your parents are doing it. Your coaches are doing it. Your teachers are doing it. Adults don't have that. So if you aren't cultivating discipline within yourself, you aren't achieving your goals. Your life is stagnant. Now, let me say that again. Your life is stagnant, and it is your fault. My cat apparently agrees. Thank you, kitty. You are your own problem when it comes to discipline. No one is coming to save you. There's no magic formula. There's no fairy godmother that will just make all the conditions in your life perfect so that you achieve your goals. But so many of us look for that. And I see this all the time, guys, all the time. All the time. People want advice. They want a get rich quick, a get fit quick, lose 10 pounds in 20 days, blah, 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 blah. That's not the issue. You don't need a program. You don't need advice. You don't need a magic pill. What you need is discipline. Now, a lot of us get stuck in this trap where we beat ourselves up because we've been told that we're lazy. Well, you just don't want to do it. You're lazy. You just don't have enough motivation. So we watch motivational speeches and we feel really good and for like 10 minutes because emotions are fleeting. They come and they go like a wave. They don't stay. This is why relying on motivation doesn't work. Motivation, I'm going to put that in quotes, is kind of the opposite of feeling lazy, but both are feelings. What you need is consistent action, which is not dependent on how you feel. How do I know this? I would bet my entire life that you have gone to work at least once when you really didn't feel like going. That is a disciplined action. And you may say, well, I really wanted a paycheck. Yeah, maybe you did. But the point is you did in action when you didn't feel like it. That is discipline. And that's what we want to start cultivating in every area of our lives. You guys may have heard that on the other side of discipline is freedom. When you do the things you need to do, when you pay the freedom tax up front, meaning you take the energy, you take the time, you take the attention, you do it up front, it pays off in spades. Because if you don't put the energy in consistently, if you don't take the action, no matter how you feel, you get nothing. Because how often do you really feel like doing the things you need to do to get your life where you want to be? Probably not very often. But what we've been taught as a culture is that that means we're lazy. We're unmotivated. We don't want it bad enough. That's not true. The secret isn't in being motivated. Again, and I'm going to beat this into you guys today, the secret is discipline. You have been lied to. Discipline. So people get in this, I went off on a tangent, but we're back now. So people get into this habit of beating themselves up and saying, I'm a failure, I'm a piece of shit, I'm awful, all of my friends are ahead of me, everybody else is succeeding, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? Why? And all that does is beat yourself up. Which, ironically, when you feel worse about yourself, you're definitely worse at discipline. When you feel like you don't deserve it, you won't succeed anyway, you're a failure, everyone thinks you're a loser, you're not gonna do the work. You're just not going to, because now you've resigned yourself to the fact that you're lazy and you're a loser and you're a failure and you'll always be that way. And so we may as well just give in. This is totally backwards, guys. Self-confidence and self-discipline come from action. They don't come from feeling disciplined that day. It's like literally the opposite thing. You don't feel disciplined. You are disciplined. You may feel lazy in that moment, but you do what you need to do. We can take action without the accompanying feeling. Again, like the example of going to work even though you didn't want to. So you've got a couple things going on here that we're learning, right? One, your feelings are like waves. They come and they go, which makes them extremely unreliable when it comes to consistency or discipline. Two, beating yourself up does not help you. But I meet so many people who use shame as a motivator because that's the culture we grew up in. That's what their parents did. That's how they talk to themselves. And they never question how they talk to themselves and how they talk to other people. But most of the time, it's really the worst with ourselves. And so this is something I coach through all the time. When you're beating yourself up, you're literally not helping yourself. Why are you putting energy into something that's actively stopping you from reaching your goals when you could simply acknowledge that you don't feel like doing it and leave it there? And then we do it anyway. And that builds self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from action. You are never, ever going to feel confident and then take action. It is always the other way around. You do the action, then confidence follows. Why is it that way? Because when you prove to yourself through actions that you are taking care of yourself, that you're reaching towards your goals, that you're moving in the direction that you want to go in, you are taking care of yourself, which means you have confidence in your ability to continue to do that. It's kind of like if someone tells you, I'm gonna buy you flowers every Monday, and then they never buy you flowers. You're not gonna be very confident in that person's words. But we do that to ourselves all the time. I'm going to start the gym on Monday. I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to drink less coffee. I'm going to go work out 3 times a week. I'm going to get to bed at 10 o'clock. But then we don't do it because we don't feel like it, because it's too hard, because we are waiting for some magic thing that makes it easier, because we have no discipline practice. And so then we lie to ourselves. We betray ourselves. Why would we have self-confidence if we lie to ourselves? Right? That makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense. This is why self-confidence comes from action. If I just started buying you flowers every Monday, you would expect, after a certain amount of time, that every Monday you would just get flowers. You're confident in my ability to deliver, even if I never said anything. If you work out 3 times a week, you are confident in your ability to keep doing that, even if you never tell yourself you're going to keep doing it. Because confidence comes from action. Now, something I see all the time is that people will look for advice, right? Well, what should I do? What program should I take? What supplement should I take? What's the perfect temperature for bed? Freaking sleep. Go to bed. Make it dark. Make it slightly cold. Go to bed and then figure it out. So a lot of the times people want advice. They want all the conditions to be perfect before they take action, which is really just a way of avoiding taking action. Again, and avoiding self-discipline. Figure it out. Go to sleep. Go to the gym. Pick something. Start taking the action and then problem solve as you go. Now, again, as adults, we don't really problem solve very often. Really think about the last time you had to solve a problem. That wasn't like drama with your friends. Probably hard to think about unless you build buildings for a living, something, one of those creative fields. Yeah, you're probably problem solving then. But for most people, they don't really solve problems throughout their day in their adult life. So we lose the skill. But when we start taking action and creating self-discipline, we start seeing, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. Then we just problem solve it. The more you practice this, the better you get. Like with everything else, the more that you avoid self-discipline, the better you get at avoiding the life that you want. The better you get at taking action on the life that you want, the better you get at taking action towards the life that you want. All of these things are linked. So really, what are you practicing? Are you practicing avoidance and excuses? Or are you practicing discipline? Because I can tell you which one is going to give you a happy life. It's discipline. Even if you say, well, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have chronic pain, I have all these things. Are you consistently doing the things that you need to do to make your life better, to manage your symptoms, to decrease them? If you're not, well, no wonder you're struggling more, right? Not everything is healable, but can it be improved when you do the things you need to do consistently? 100% yes. Fight me if you don't believe that, because you are lying to yourself. You can improve your life if you consistently do the things you need to do. When we get better at problem solving, then the magic really starts happening, because it's not, why can't I do this? It's how can I do this? Well, I need to move XYZ, or I need to pack my gym clothes the night before. I need to get all the sugar out of the house, or I need to look at a menu before I go to a restaurant so I know what I'm going to eat. Yes. I really want to move on from my ex, but we just keep talking, and sometimes they say what's up and we'll hook up, and I'm just so sad about that. Stop talking to your ex. Stop talking to them. You know what you need to do, right? As an adult, once you get past a certain point, you kind of, in general, know, right? You want to lose weight? Watch what you eat. Move your body more. Do you want to build muscle? Lift heavy things. Probably eat a little more. You want to move on from your ex? Cut off contact and do the steps to move on. We know what these things are, especially if you have any kind of like intuition. You know what these things are. You don't have discipline. That's where the problem comes in. So we've talked a lot about what the issue is when you don't have discipline, but like, how do you build discipline? I'm going to let you problem solve that for a second while I drink some water. How do we build discipline? Well, it's a pretty simple, don't fight me when I say this. You just start building discipline. You start taking the actions that you promise yourself you're going to take, no matter how you feel. It is that simple. It's not that easy, but it is that simple. You make a promise to yourself, a small one. Start very, very small. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to say 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. Perfect. I'm going to do a 3-minute stretch before I go to bed. Great. I'm going to wake up 5 minutes earlier so that I have some quiet time in the house. Perfect. Something small, very small. And then you do it. No matter how you feel. I don't care how you feel. No one cares how you feel. Show up and do the thing. When you consistently do this, research shows the people who are good at being disciplined practice being disciplined. That's the magic gap, right? The magic gap isn't they have more motivation or they're just naturally better at this. They practice it. How do you become good at playing an instrument? You practice. How did Mozart become Mozart? He practiced all day long, every day. That's how you get good at something. So you start small because we want to build some confidence, right? And we remember confidence comes from action. So we want to start with a small action where we feel like we're winning. Start small. And then every single day we practice that thing. No matter how you feel, that's the key. I don't care how you feel. Do the thing anyway. Then we start getting confident because we know confidence comes from action. Because we're practicing now, so we're getting better at that skill of discipline. If something comes up, we just problem solve it. Oh, well, one morning I was in a huge rush and so I didn't have time to do it, to say my 3 things I'm grateful for. Okay, do it in the car. Do it at lunch. Who cares? Pick a time during the day, problem solve it, fix it. The other thing we do, and this is the really, really sticky part, is we don't beat ourselves up. If we're not beating ourselves up, though, what replaces it? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm not just going to leave you guys hanging. What replaces beating ourselves up is just acknowledging that we don't feel like doing it, and that's okay. You're not going to always feel like doing these things. That's okay. You're human. The point is, we just say, I don't really feel like doing it. And then we do it anyway. You don't just stop it. Well, I don't really feel like doing it, so I'm not going to. No, you do it anyway, because that is the discipline practice. So we don't beat ourselves up for not feeling like we're doing it. We don't beat ourselves up for missing a day. You're going to miss a day, guys. You're going to have life happen. We can't problem solve everything. Things will get in the way. The next day or the next time it comes around, we just do it again, no matter how we feel. Over time, that adds up, right? How do you walk up a mountain? You still got to take it one step at a time. But if you're obsessing about every time you have to go sideways because of a tree fell, or you may have to backtrack a minute because you didn't really realize where that particular portion of that trail led, you're going to hate this whole trip up a mountain. But if you say, oh, I got to double back around to go further to make it easier. Oh, this tree fell, so I just need to go around it, and then I'm back on my way. This is the same concept. You don't climb a mountain. Well, I mean, I guess you can bitch the whole time going up the mountain, but it doesn't sound like a very good time. I don't really care how you get up the mountain. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other was like really the point that I was making there. Yeah, so that is a process called diffusion, where we acknowledge our thoughts, but we don't hold on to them. We don't follow them down a rabbit hole. We're just like, hey, brain, I see you. You don't really want to do this thing, but that's cool because I can think a thing and still control my actions. I can think I can't pick up a pen and literally pick up a pen. Your thoughts don't control your actions. They're completely separate from each other. You can think, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to go to work, and get in the car and go to work. Or if you're working from home now, get up and go to work. You can think, oh, I'm so tired, but still get up in the morning and do what you have to do. Those are just actions, which are completely separate from your thoughts. Now, this was a good little quickie, guys. That's pretty much everything that I had. So let me recap for you what we said. 1, you are not lazy. You are undisciplined. Cultivate a disciplined practice no matter how you feel. That is the difference between reaching your goals and staying the same. People aren't better than you. Well, yeah, maybe people are better than you. They have a better skill set. They have more knowledge, whatever. What separates people who reach their goals from people who don't isn't more knowledge. It's not better genes. It's discipline. Doing the things you need to do even when you don't feel like you want to do them. That is freedom. Because when you pay the tax up front, when you eat the shit burger first, then you have all this time to do what you want to do. But if you spend all your time avoiding it and whining and beating yourself up and I'm lazy and I'm a loser, you're not helping yourself. Like you're driving yourself farther into the ground for no reason other than that's probably all that you've seen. There's a much better way, guys, and it's acknowledge your thoughts, acknowledge your feelings, and then do the thing anyway. That's okay. When something happens, when something comes up, we simply, the next time we have the opportunity to make that disciplined choice, we make it. Nobody's 100% of the time, but even 80% is a really, really good percentage. That would be a good one. So we don't rely on our emotions. We don't rely on motivation because we know that those don't work. They come and go. Discipline stays. That's really what I want you guys to get today. Like the difference between getting to where you want to be or staying where you are is discipline. It is nothing else. And discipline has nothing to do with how you feel. Now, if you guys have questions, if you disagree with me, please let me know. I would love to hear that. If you have a goal that you're not reaching and you're like, but I am disciplined, I am doing the things, like it's still not working, hit me up. Let me know. Maybe we can problem solve something for you. But I would also love to know how discipline has helped you. Tell me, like I want to hear y'all's wins. I love these things. So If you feel like you need a little help in the discipline department, shameless plug, I want to remind you that I'm taking health coaching clients, and you get the chance to work with me, and you get all of these insights every week when we meet. And we're going to dig into basically any goals that you want, and we're going to support you to get you there. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. Just send me a message that says health coaching and we can chat. But really think about the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, and what actions you need to take in order to get there. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day. I wish you much luck and even more discipline.